You want to go for a ride?
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So I polled all my male students that I could find. Do you find me intimidating? I thought it was great. Most of them said no. And then someone went, sorta. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. So, my talk today again is about powerful women in chiropractic. So, all my life I've accepted assistant positions. I've been an assistant chiropractor, I've been an executive assistant, I've been corporate wife, assisting my husband in his job, which isn't really a bad thing, but I've been the assistant. I've been fired from multiple chiropractic offices because I have too much of an opinion, and I'm okay with that too. So one night after lots of wine, a friend of mine who's very saturated in the Buddhist culture said to me after my exclamation, I cannot believe this, I've been fired again, and I'm just supposed to be the assistant for the rest of my life. And he got up from across the room. He's a very quiet individual. And he told me, he said, have you ever thought this might be your life's destiny? Your house is amazing. Your family is beautiful. You assist your husband incredibly. Did you ever think that this is your turn on the wheel? Well, maybe. I got to thinking, was he right? Go ahead. So these were my role models growing up. I don't know if you know any of these women. 3 of them are Texans. Very beautiful, amazing women. Up in the corner, we have Miss Maggie Thatcher. She didn't take no for an answer. She went into the Falklands. Now, I will have to say just a little caveat. I don't agree with all these women's politics, but I like the fact that they didn't take no for an answer, and they damn sure wasn't going to let a man tell them how to run their job. That's Ann Richards. She's the governor of Texas. If you think Texas is big, that woman's attitude and her feet planted on her foundation, yeah, that's pretty big. Then we had Molly Ivins. Wasn't afraid, she's a journalist, wasn't afraid to tell you about what she thought, what she felt, and how she saw it. She was truly someone who wrote a soap note, the whole subjective, how what someone said, and then what she saw and compared it to. The woman in the middle is my absolute favorite. I get a little bit of the Klimt thinking about her. This is the first Southern African-American lesbian person to ever be elected to the House of Representatives from the state of Texas. That's Miss Barbara Jordan. And she has by far been the one person that has carried me through everything. Anytime I thought I was going to give up, that was the time that I would go and I'd read something from her or listen to her old speeches. She's no longer with us. Ann Richards is no longer with us. Molly Ivins is no longer with us. Maggie Thatcher's in dementia. Okay? So, you know those names, don't you? They look a little different. Clorinda Gonstead, Regina Gold, Frida Barge. What about Cicely Williams? What would you think if that was what our fountainhead out there was named after? Well, I got to thinking, there's really no women like my role models in chiropractic. There's some strong, amazing, and incredible women, just known in the California area. But if you're going to roll something off the tip of your tongue and you're going to quote somebody, does it really come from a woman? And I'm going to get a little bit boisterous here. Does it come from an old white guy whose values may be different than yours, who didn't have one foot in the household and the other foot in a small business? And then if he took out 9 months of his life to go and raise someone, 9 months, 12 months, whatever it takes to get the wean off of you, if he didn't take that time out, would his business still be there? So I'm wondering, because all these women, we're small business owners. If we start taking a year off, where's our business going to go? We can marry a chiropractor. Well, that's great. So that says you have to be assisting someone. Or we can have a locum come in, so that means we get to take half our pay. So I want you to think about it. Does anybody know what these numbers are? Great. 219 to 139. I want you to keep that in your mind until the next quarter comes in, because that's our male to female ratio. Right, next. I want you to look at these names. These are names, and it took me a long time to collaborate these names. These are women that are moving in chiropractic that've got something to say. They're not married chiropractors. They're not thrust into peds positions. Pediatrics, sorry. These are the women that are moving and shaking. A lot of them I had to look up. I had to ask lots of women. I polled all the female teachers here. Who can you roll off the tip of your tongue someone that would be just as equivalent as Reggie Gold? Okay. So I'm asking you, sisters, are you going to stand up? Are you going to take the gauntlet? Are you moving on? Because I know what my goal is. My goal is to return to an institution and be a teacher. I've been the assistant all my life. I reach out to my students. I tell them how they should be doing their homework or what they should study for when they took my exams. When I taught in that university, it was one of the most fabulous things that I've ever done, apart from having my daughter in my life. So I'm asking, who's taking the gauntlet with me? Can I have hands? Awesome. Awesome. This is another reason why I started the mentoring program. I really wanted to see a lot of these first quarter women go, huh? I need help? And I was really ready to give it to them. So, next slide, please. That's my mom. She is crazy. She is, trust me. She's 17 years older than I am. On Sunday, I'll turn 40. Yeah, okay? She is one of the most incredible women that I know. At the age of 29, she was already divorced with a 12 and an 8-year-old. And she had to go through some really debilitating stuff. My mother was in a horrible car accident that left her with multiple headaches all the time. And she still got up and did a full-time job. She still had a part-time job because we didn't have really a father figure around. That woman worked herself to the bone. And I'm so grateful that she laid down my foundation as a strong woman. When I was about 15 years old, she was having such a bad headache that day that she called in sick to work, and this is the woman who never calls in sick. And she was laying in bed. She gets up across the room, and I'm concerned because she's been in bed for 2 days now. She walks across the room, and she puts her head through the sheetrock. And my mother was in so much pain that she wanted to knock herself unconscious. But when she realized what she had done, and we pulled her out of the wall, she was angry that she couldn't find a stud to do what her original job was. In our town, there were no women chiropractors. None. 20,000 people in a small town in the middle of nowhere, Texas. There wasn't one single woman that could help her with the foot in the household and the foot in the career. There wasn't a principled man that could help her. There was all the crick, crack, East End ice, send you back to work. So, not only is my job to be a teacher and eventually be like Dr. Hawkins and have tests that mean nothing to do with the lecture, because I think that's the coolest thing ever. But I'm also assisting people in living principled lives. Because nobody should put their head through the sheetrock to let go of pain. Right? Ladies, how many times have you seen this? I beg you, make history. Stand up, squeak, scream if you have to, but make history. I want to see your names up there that say, I quoted something from this amazing, wonderful woman. And oh, by the way, she's a chiropractor. Go ahead. So in summation, find your foundation. And I don't mean good bras. Okay? Although those are good too. Choose your role. I'm an assistant. I will forever be an assistant. Find your role model, preferably one that's a female chiropractor. But if you can't, look outside the box. Love those around you no matter how many times you told them what Whole Foods is, or organic, or oh my gosh, woman, I've said this a million times. Will you please drink water instead of coffee? That's my mom, by the way. And make history. Tether yourself to principled women. Get out there and do it. And if Adam was here, that last line was for him, because he makes fun of me that I cry a lot. So, but I don't care. I don't care anymore. And the last thing I want to share with you is a picture of my daughter. She is one of the strongest females that I know, and sometimes I gather my strength from her. She just doesn't take it from anyone, not even me sometimes. Sometimes. Small Fry and I were sitting on the couch one day, and I felt so bad that yet again I had to get up and I had to study. And I had to leave her again. And I said, what am I going to do? And she says, well, Mom, you chose to have children. There are some of you women out there, you're going to have kids. Your business is going to slow down when you do. You've got to remember the momentum that I have given you today. When you come back, your babies are not just those things that hang off of you. It's that thing that you decided you wanted to build because you wanted to do that. You wanted to get smart and save lives. Thank you.